I never should have agreed to it. Looking back now, I can't believe I was so stupid. It was supposed to be a joke, a bit of fun, nothing serious. Come on, Mark, live a little. That's what Claire had said. She always had a way of pushing me past my comfort zone. You're too skeptical for your own good. She wasn't wrong. I've always been a realist. I work in accounting. I keep a strict budget. I am a my meals. I don't believe in ghosts, spirits, or anything that can't be explained with logic and reason. But that night made me question everything. It was Claire's idea to go to the seance. Our friend Eric had found Sion. Our friend Eric had found some local psychic advertising, authentic spiritual contact, advertising contact. It was a small gathering, just the four of us and Madame Alina, the self-proclaimed medium, in a cramped, candlelit room at the back of an old bookshop. The place smelled of aged paper and paged paper and burnt sage, and the flickering candlelight. A large round table stood in the center, with 6 wooden chairs surrounding it. The atmosphere was exactly what you'd expect from something like this: dark, moody, and theatrical. I took my seat reluctantly, sandwiched between Claire and Eric, while Jenna, Claire's roommate, sat across from us. Madame Alina, draped in a flowing black shawl with silver embroidery, surveyed us with sharp, piercing eyes. "We will begin," she said in a low, measured voice. "Join hands." I almost laughed but complied. Claire's fingers felt warm, while Eric's were clammy, which I assumed was due to either nerves or just bad circulation. Madame Alina began to chant in a language I didn't recognize. The flames of the candles flickered unnaturally, casting shifting patterns across the ceiling. I told myself it was just air currents, nothing more. "Spirits," she called. "We invite you to speak. If there is anyone here with us, give us a sign." We waited. The room was silent aside from the occasional creak of old wood. I felt ridiculous. Then came the knock. It was soft, a light tap from somewhere behind me. My muscles tensed. Eric snorted. "Nice trick," he said. "Where's the assistant hiding?" "I work alone," Madame Alina responded smoothly. "Let's try again." I rolled my eyes. I wasn't convinced, but Claire shot me a look that said, "Don't ruin this." "Is there a spirit among us?" Alina continued, her voice a whisper now. Another knock. This time, closer. Eric shifted in his seat. "Okay, that one felt a little real." Madame Alina's breathing deepened. "Who are you?" she asked. The air in the room grew colder. A draft, maybe? But I could see Claire rubbing her arms, and Jenna hunched her shoulders as if shielding herself from an unseen chill. Then, without warning, the candle flames stretched high and snuffed out all at once, plunging us into darkness. Jenna yelped. I felt Claire's grip tighten around my hand. My pulse pounded in my ears. "Stay calm," Alina instructed. "Do not break the circle." I opened my mouth to say this was bullshit, but then I heard it. A whisper, right next to my ear. Faint, breathless. "Mark." My blood ran cold. My mom used to say that when I was little, when I'd wake up from a nightmare and she'd come to check on me. "Mark, it's okay. I'm here." But my mom had been dead for 7 years. I yanked my hands away from the circle, scrambling back so fast my chair nearly tipped. Claire grabbed my arm. "Mark, what's wrong? You didn't hear that?" My voice came out hoarse. "Someone said my name." Jenna shook her head, but Eric looked uneasy now. "Sude, are you messing with us?" I swear to God. A loud bang cut me off. The table shook violently as if something had slammed against it from below. Jenna screamed. Eric cursed. Claire clutched my sleeve, her nails digging into my arm. Madame Alina's voice turned sharp. "Who are you? What do you want?" The whispering started again, louder this time. "Mark, Mark, Mark." The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. It was all around us, circling, pressing in from the dark corners of the room. A gust of cold air rushed past my face, and I swear I felt fingers brush against my cheek. "Enough," Alina shouted. She muttered something in that strange language again, her voice urgent, almost desperate. The whispers ceased. The temperature returned to normal. The candles reignited, their flames weak but steady. Silence. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then, Eric forced a laugh, though it was shaky. "Well, that was a hell of a show," but I wasn't convinced. I could still feel it, that lingering sensation of something unseen, something watching. Madame Alina exhaled, rubbing her temples. The séance is over. You must go. Claire hesitated. Are you sure? Now? We left in a hurry, stepping into the cool night air. I expected to feel relief, but instead a deep unease settled in my bones. Eric was the first to shake it off. Damn, that was intense. Good job, Alina. Whatever you did in there, you almost had me. I didn't answer. I was too busy scanning the shadows. Because something felt wrong. We said our goodbyes quickly, and Claire and I headed back to my apartment. She tried to reassure me, saying it was all just suggestion, that my brain had tricked me. I nodded along, but I knew. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, every sound making my pulse spike. At 3:12 a.m., I woke up with a start, my throat dry. I turned over to face Claire and froze. A shadow stood in the corner of my room, tall, motionless, watching. My breath hitched. I reached out to shake Claire awake, but when I turned back, it was closer. My body went rigid. The air around me turned ice cold. A whisper slithered through the silence, right next to my ear. Mark, it's okay. I'm here. I clamped my eyes shut. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. When I finally dared to look again, the shadow was gone. But I knew it had followed me home, and it wasn't leaving. I don't know why I agreed to it. Maybe it was the beer. Maybe it was the way Jenna smirked at me. Jenna smirked at me, daring me to call her Blally. Jenna smirked blah. Or maybe, just maybe, it was the nagging feeling in the back of my mind, the one that had followed me since childhood, whispering, "You never tried it. You never really tested if it's real." So, like an idiot, I said yes. We were at Mason's house, 5 of us crammed into a small, dimly lit bathroom. It smelled like beer and cheap cologne, the air thick with laughter and bravado. Jenna was the one who started it, of course. "Come on, you've never done it," she teased, nudging me. I shrugged. "I don't see the point." "The point is to prove you're not a coward," Mason chuckled. "Yeah, man, everyone did it when they were kids." Not everyone, not me. I remembered sleepovers in middle school, how my friends would run off diggle, all my we'd run off diggling, friend off diddly to the bathroom. I'd always made an excuse, said I had to pee, said it was dumb, but the truth was, I didn't want to see what might happen. Now, years later, standing in Mason's bathroom with my tipsy friends, I told myself I didn't believe. It was just a stupid game. "Fine," I said. "Let's do it." Jenna grinned. She turned off the light, plunging us into darkness. Day. It cast strange shadows over the sink, making our reflections flicker in the mirror. Mason, Jenna, Lisa, Ryan, and me. Jenna raised an eyebrow. "Ready?" I swallowed hard. "Yeah." We said it together. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Silence. I exhaled, relief flooding my chest. Nothing happened. No flickering lights, no eerie whispers, no ghostly figure appearing behind us. Just the 5 of us, staring at our own reflections like idiots. Lisa scoffed. "Told you, dumb." Ryan snorted. "Dude, I was actually hoping something would happen." Mason rolled his eyes and reached for the light switch. "Guess the legend's just bullshit." Then, the phone light died. For half a second, everything was pitch black. And then Jenna screamed. The light came back on a second later. Her phone must glitch. But for that brief moment of darkness, something felt wrong. Jenna was backed against the door, her breath coming in short gasps. "What the hell?" Lisa snapped. "You trying to scare us?" Jenna shook her head. Her face was pale. "No, I thought I saw something." "What?" Mason frowned. "In the mirror," she whispered, "there was someone else." A chill ran down my spine. Ryan laughed nervously. "You're messing with us." Jenna didn't answer. She looked shaken. Her eyes darted to the mirror, then away, as if afraid to look too long. I didn't blame her. Something about the glass felt. I couldn't explain it, but it was like the reflections weren't quite right, like the angles were slightly wrong. Lisa huffed. "Okay, fun's over." She turned on the main light, and everything seemed normal again. Just a dumb party trick gone wrong. But Jenna wouldn't stop glancing at the mirror. I went home a few hours later, still feeling uneasy. Maybe it was the alcohol, or maybe it was the way Jenna kept looking over her shoulder. Either way, I locked my bathroom door before I went to bed. I woke up to the sound of water running. Groggy, I sat up and blinked at the clock. 3:14 and my stomach twisted. The sound was coming from the bathroom. My bathroom, heart pounding. I forced myself to move. The moment I stepped out of bed, the water stopped. I reached the door, hesitated, then turned the knob. The bathroom was empty. Nothing was out of place. No dripping faucet, no running water. But as I turned to leave, my gaze flicked to the mirror, and my reflection didn't move. I froze. It lasted for only a second, a blink, but I saw it, felt it. The other me stayed still, staring at me even as I flinched back. I turned off the light and left the bathroom without looking back. The next morning, I checked my phone. A text from Jenna. Jenna, hey, has anything weird happened to you? My stomach dropped. Me, what do you mean? A few minutes passed before she replied. Jenna, I keep seeing her. I felt sick. I wanted to tell her I had seen something too, but I didn't. Instead, I typed, "Are you okay?" She didn't reply. That night, I covered my mirrors, but it didn't help. I woke up to the feeling of someone watching me. My skin prickled with cold. Slowly, I turned my head toward the dark shape standing at the foot of my bed. She was tall, too tall. Her face was blurred, but I could feel her watching me, waiting. A distorted whisper crawled through the room, slipping beneath my skin like ice. Let me in. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The air pressed against my chest like a heavy weight. Then she moved, a jerking, unnatural lurch, like a puppet with its strings cut. Closer, closer. I closed my eyes and whispered, "You're not real." Silence. When I finally opened my eyes, the room was empty. I haven't heard from Jenna since that night. Her roommate said she left town suddenly. No explanation. I tried calling, but her number is disconnected. No social media, nothing. Lisa, Mason, and Ryan don't want to talk about it. They act like nothing happened, like she just ghosted us. But I know better, because every night, when I turn off the lights, I see her in the mirror, waiting. If someone ever dares you to say her name, don't. It's not a game, and once you let her in, she never leaves. I wasn't expecting anything to happen. None of us were. It was just a stupid game, a way to kill time on a Friday night. We were at Jason's apartment, me, him, Katie, and Sam drinking cheap beer, watching a horror movie. Jason had found an old YJ board at a thrift store earlier that week, and after a few drinks, we thought it'd be fun to try it out. I've never believed in ghosts. I like things that make sense, cold hard facts. Odds are make sense, cold hard facts. Tease and effect. Paranormal cardians. So when Jason dimmed the lights and we all gathered around his coffee table, I was fully prepared for nothing to happen. And I was right. For 20 minutes, we sat there with our fingers on the planchette, asking the usual questions. Is there a spirit with us? What's your name? Give us a sign? Nothing. See nothing. Katie tried to scare us with a sudden gasp, but it was obvious she was faking. Sam got bored and went to grab another beer. Jason laughed and put the board away. Guess the spirits don't want to party with us, he joked. That should have been the end of it. I wish it had been. It wasn't until I got home that I started to feel off. I live alone in a small apartment downtown. It's nothing special, just a one-bedroom with an outdated kitchen and a drafty bathroom. But it's mine, and I like having my own space. The second I stepped inside, though, something felt different. The air was heavier, like a storm was about to break. The apartment was dark, and for some reason, I hesitated before turning on the light. When I did, I could have sworn I saw movement in the hallway mirror, just a flicker of a shadow in the corner of my vision. But when I turned to look, there was nothing there. I shook it off. I was just tired. Too many beers, too much pointless ghost talk. My brain was playing tricks on me. I locked the door, kicked off my shoes, and headed to the bathroom to brush my teeth. That's when the light in the hallway flickered and went out. I froze. Old wiring, I told myself. Happens all the time. I flipped the switch a couple of times, but it didn't turn back on. Whatever. I'd deal with it in the morning. I went to bed, shutting the door behind me out of habit. I don't usually sleep with it closed, but tonight, for some reason, I felt like I should. I woke up at 3:12 a.m. to the sound of my bedroom door creaking open. At first, I thought I was dreaming. I blinked in the darkness, my mind sluggish, trying to make sense of the noise. Then I heard it again, the soft, deliberate groan of hinges. The door was opening. I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight, shining it toward the doorway. The door was wide open. My stomach twisted. I was sure, absolutely sure, that I had closed it. I told myself maybe I hadn't latched it properly. Maybe there was a draft, but my apartment doesn't have drafts. And then I heard it, a whisper, right behind me. I spun around so fast I nearly dropped my phone. The room was empty. My skin crawled. I wasn't just hearing things, I felt it. A breath just barely touching the back of my neck. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next day, I tried to shake it off. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I told myself I was being paranoid, that I told myself I was the paranoid. I even laughed about it with Jason over the phone, telling him the seance had gotten in my head, but things only got worse. It started small. Objects weren't where I left them. My keys would be on the counter one minute, then on the coffee table the next. The bathroom door would be open when I knew I'd closed it. Then the whispers came back. They were faint at first, just soft murmurs in the dead of night. I couldn't make out words, just the shape of them, just enough to know that they were wrong. And the lights, God, the lights. They would flicker constantly. Sometimes they would turn off completely, plunging me into darkness without warning. I started to dread coming home. My apartment didn't feel like mine anymore. It felt occupied, like something was waiting, watching. Then, 3 nights ago, I saw it. I had just gotten into bed when I heard the familiar creak of my bedroom door opening. By now, I was too exhausted to panic. I just lay there, gripping my phone, heart pounding, waiting for it to stop. But this time, it didn't stop. The door kept going, kept creaking. And then I heard footsteps, slow, heavy, moving toward me. I held my breath, paralyzed. The air turned ice cold. My phone was in my hand, but I was too afraid to move, too afraid to shine the light and see. And then, a shadow passed in front of my bed. Tall, thin, almost human, but not quite. It just stood there. I couldn't see its face, but I could feel it looking at me. The whispers started again, louder now, urgent, right in my ear. I bolted upright and turned on the flashlight. Nothing. The room was empty. The door was closed, but I knew I hadn't imagined it. I wasn't alone. I haven't slept since. I tried staying at Jason's place last night, but it followed me there. The whispers, the flickering lights, I couldn't escape it. I don't know what we did that night with the Ouija board, but we brought something back. Something that doesn't want to leave. And now it's standing in the hallway, watching me, waiting. We shouldn't have done it. That's the first thought that runs through my head when I hear the knock at my window. A slow, deliberate tapping, like someone testing the glass. I live on the 4th floor. The room is dark except for the glow of my phone screen. I don't move. I don't even breathe. The knocking comes again, soft, patient. I squeeze my eyes shut and whisper to myself, it's not real. It's not real, but I know it is. We brought her here. I guess I should start from the beginning. My name is Daniel, and up until a few nights ago, I thought urban legends were just that, stories. Something to scare kids at sleepovers or pad out cheap horror movies. I never believed in ghosts, demons, or curses. Then Katie suggested we summon the Queen of Spades. There were 4 of us, me, Katie, Tom, and Lisa. We'd been drinking, bored out of our minds, when Katie told us about the game. It's like Bloody Mary, she said, except worse. She grinned as she explained the ritual. You take a mirror, light a candle, and draw a door with stairs leading up. Then you write Queen of Spades beneath it and say her name 3 times. It works, she appears in the mirror. And then what? Tom asked. Katie's grin widened. Then she comes for you. Lisa rolled her eyes. This is stupid. But Katie was already setting things up. She loved this kind of thing, the thrill of scaring herself, the rush of tempting fate. And I guess, deep down, we did too. The candle flickered as we gathered around the mirror. Katie took a deep breath and whispered, Queen of Spades, Queen of Spades, Queen of Spades. Nothing happened. The mirror reflected only our expectant faces, the glow of the candle stretching our shadows across the wall. See? Lisa huffed. Told you. We all laughed, teasing Katie for her failed ghost story. It was late, we were drunk, and soon the whole thing became another dumb memory. I wish we had stopped there. That night, I woke up to the sound of my bedroom door creaking open. I live alone. My heart slammed against my ribs. I reached for my phone, fumbling with the flashlight, but when I shined it toward the door, there was nothing there, just darkness. The apartment was silent. Too silent. The kind of silence that presses against your ears, makes your skin prickle. Then I heard it, a whisper. Not words, just a sound, barely audible, like someone breathing against my ear. My stomach turned to ice. The air smelled different, too something old, stale, like decayed flowers. I didn't sleep after that. The next morning, I texted the group. Me. Okay, I know this is dumb, but did anything weird happen to you guys last night? Katie, like what? Me. I don't know, just weird shit, noises, shadows. Lisa. Nope, slept like a baby. Tom. Dude. I thought I heard my closet door open by itself, but it was probably my cat. Katie. See? That means it worked. She added a winking emoji. I didn't reply. I didn't tell them about the whisper or the way I kept feeling something behind me, watching. Over the next few days, things got worse. Lights flickered. Objects moved. I'd set my phone down, only to find it across the room. My apartment felt wrong, like the air was thicker, heavier. And then there were the dreams. I'd wake up gasping, drenched in sweat, with the same image burned into my mind, a woman standing at the foot of my bed. She was tall, too tall, her limbs stretched impossibly long. Her face was blurred, like something seen through frosted glass, but I could feel her eyes on me, watching, waiting. Then, last night, I saw her for real. I had just turned off the lights when I caught movement in the mirror. Not a reflection, something else. My breath hitched. Slowly, I turned back to the glass. At first, I saw only my own dim outline, but then, behind me, the darkness shifted. A shadow stretched taller, a shape thin, jagged, unnatural, unfolded in the reflection. My mouth went dry, and then she leaned closer. Her face remained blurred, a shifting void where features should be. But I felt her smile, a sickening curve in the air, pressing against my skull like a voice inside my head. Let me in. The whisper wasn't a sound, it was inside me. I bolted from the room, heart hammering. I barely slept, keeping every light on, watching the mirror from the corner of my eye. And now she's here, outside my window. The knocking has stopped, but I don't dare look. I don't want to see what's waiting for me in the glass. I need to get rid of her, but I don't know how. And I don't think she plans on leaving. If you ever hear about the Queen of Spades, don't call her. No matter how stupid it seems, she will come. And once she does, she never leaves.